Thank you for joining us this afternoon. The very first thing I want to tell you is a little bit about the accuracy of the signals. Binary Signal app was tested for more than 2 years before we launched it, and during that 2-year period we tested over 17,000 signals. And of those 17,000 signals, we had a win rate just over 70% during that time. It was about 70.4%. Notice that this is not a 100% win rate. Now the reason I say that, you might laugh and say, well, of course it's not 100%. But the funny thing is we get a lot of emails from people that say, oh, there was 3 trades in a row that lost, or there was 5 trades in a row that lost. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes the losers are going to be a lot of them in a day. Sometimes there may not be many for an entire week. But you really can't judge the accuracy of a product like this over the course of just 1 or 2 days, or even a week for that matter. Okay, what we're looking at here, this is actually what the screen you'll see once you've logged in. When there's no live signals being delivered, this is the screen that you'll see. And as live signals are generated by our robot, they're actually pushed to your Android device. The number of signals that we generate each day depends on market conditions. On an average day, there's about 30 to 40 signals. This screen that you see actually shows the 10 most recent winners. So this is what you see when there's no signals that are active. The next screen I'm showing you here, this is what you're going to see if you click on this icon right up here. This gear icon on the app. This is your settings icon. And there's a couple things here that are important. One is if you click on settings, this is where you can actually turn on or turn off the notifications. If you don't want to be notified by vibrate or by audio message when signals are received, you can turn that off, such as when you're sleeping, or you can turn it on. You can adjust your time zone there as well. Help and support page is how you can reach us. And this is really important here, how to use. If you click on this how to use, what will happen is it'll take you to YouTube, and it'll take you to this link right here. This is a video that we produced called How to Profit with Binary Signal App, Placing Live Option Trades. You want to make sure you watch this video if you haven't done so already, because this actually talks about exactly how to place trades when you receive a signal, how to use the binary signals to place a trade with your broker, and how to do it very easily and efficiently, the quickest way. So that's a whole separate webinar that we're not going to get into today, but if you're curious about how you can more efficiently execute your trades with a broker, be sure to watch this video. Okay, so back to the app. When live signals are received, this is what happens. You'll initially get a screen that says signals-active. And I've circled the active part to show you because there's actually active and not active signals. And this actually screenshot was actually taken just a few hours ago. There was 3 signals that were generated. And if you take a look at the signals here, you'll see that one signal was a 15-minute trade at 22.30 with an expiration at 22.45 to buy the US dollar Japanese yen. And then there was actually a 5-minute signal to buy the euro US dollar. And then there was a 15-minute signal to buy the euro US dollar. Notice sometimes you actually get the same signal for both a 5 and 15-minute trade. So that happens once in a while depending on the market conditions. And that's okay. You can take both of the trades or just either one. Now, what happens when you see a signal that's active, you want to make sure you're set up to execute a trade with your broker. Like I said, watch that video. That'll show you how to do that. And then the next thing you want to do is click here. This is very important because when you click on this screen, you're going to get this screen right here that shows you trade details. Now, this is very important because the trade details make sure that the trade is still within the time and the price range that you want it to be in before you place the trade. So before you actually place the trade, click on that trade detail, and this confirms there's your signal price, 1.38133. It's a signal to buy. We anticipate the price going up. Now, this part down here that I circled in red, very important. This says that you only want to buy if the brokerage price is between 1.38128 and 1.38138. And if you set your broker expiration time to 15 minutes from now, actually 15 minutes from when the signal was generated, which would be 22.45. So you want to match up the execution time with your broker and double check that price, because sometimes in a fast-moving market, even though the signal might stay active, it may actually turn inactive immediately before you place a trade. So for the best odds of a winning trade, very important that you follow this. If the trade is not within this price range and you don't have the proper broker time set, then we do not recommend taking the trade because the odds are not in your favor of a profitable trade. Now, what happens after the trade is active, then sometimes the trades will move down to this section here called not active. And when it goes to not active, you notice that this icon up here where you can see the trade detail turns to kind of like a no smoking sign, and that tells you do not take the trade anymore. Now, what causes a signal to go from active to not active? Well, there's a couple of things. One is if our signal is generated by a robot and then immediately it moves the opposite direction, it goes to not active because the odds are no longer in your favor of a winning trade. So that's one possibility. So we block the trade out to prevent you from taking it to increase your odds of profitability again. That happens sometimes, and sometimes actually a trade will go from not active back up to active again if it comes back within the range. But often what happens is simply if too much time has passed, the trade will move from active to not active. For example, on the 5-minute trades, we only allow about 1 minute or so before we move the trade from active to not active, because if you go much more than 1 minute beyond the signal, then your odds for an accurate trade do decrease because the algorithm is based on a 5-minute trade. So obviously I realize unless you're sitting at your computer, you're not going to be able to catch a lot of the 5-minute trades, and that's why we've actually made some changes to our algorithm to increase the number of 15-minute trade signals. And for the 15-minute trade signals, if everything is moving in the right direction, they will stay active all the way up for the first 10 minutes of the signal until there's only 5 minutes left. And when it gets too close to within 5 minutes of that time expiration, then this will move to not active as well. So again, you only want to trade the signal if it stays up here. If it's up here under active, you click on this right here for trade detail and execute your trade. If its signal, when you look at it, is in the not active section, the trade has already been generated, but it's not a trade you should be taking unless you're already in it, of course. If you do click on one of these trades that's in the not active section, you will get this screen right here that says trade details. This signal is out of valid price range or time and should not be traded. So that's to remind you, again, we block that signal to try to increase your odds of profitability. Now again, this is the same screenshot that I took earlier tonight. After the 15 minutes had passed, we actually took this screenshot here, and you notice that all the trades were actually winners. You notice that all 3 of those trades, those of you who had the app running, you'll see the same thing. All 3 of those signals were winners. It doesn't happen all the time. Obviously, like I said earlier, we don't have a 100% win rate, but in this particular case, those 3 trades did all turn out to be winning trades. Some of you in this webinar are already active subscribers, but for those of you who are not active subscribers, you get a 1-week free trial period. After your free trial period, you can no longer use the app unless you subscribe. If you do try to sign up with multiple email addresses for a free trial, you'll get an error message that the password and username is incorrect because it's tied to your device as well. There's 2 ways you can subscribe. Now, what most of our subscribers and the traders like to do is to get it free. Who doesn't like free, right? Everybody likes free. So to get our app completely free and our signals free, all you have to do is go to binarysignalapp.com and click right here where it says Get It Free. And if you click on this Get It Free, you'll get a web page, and on that web page you'll see this section right here. You want to scroll down to this section, and you'll see links for 2 different brokers, Zoom Trader and 24 Option, and just a little bit about each one. And the reason that you get it free is we actually have a partnership worked out with these brokers where if you open a new account with one of these brokers and make the minimum deposit and submit all your paperwork and so forth, then they actually pay for the cost of your subscription. So it's free to you, but the broker actually pays for your subscription to the signals. So that's one way you can get it free, is simply to open an account, and that's what most of our subscribers do. Once you've opened your account, then you simply notify us, tell us that you've opened your account, give us your username, and we'll get you set up. Now, for those of you who already have a broker that you're happy with, or you don't want to open a new account for whatever reason, then the other option you have is you can simply subscribe directly. If you subscribe directly, again, you go to binarysignalapp.com and you click on Subscribe to Binary Signals. Instead of Get It Free, you click on this one right here, and then near the top of the page, you'll see this section right here. It says Already Had Your Free Trial. Subscribe to our live binary option signals by choosing your option below. And then there will be a drop-down menu. When you click in the menu, you get 3 choices. Now our annual subscription is just $300 a year, which is a 50% savings off the regular monthly rate. So basically, it's the same as paying for just 6 months. You get an entire year for $300. Or if you don't want to do a year, you can actually do a quarter as well, which is 3 months, and you still get a savings of 20%. Or you can just do monthly. And your subscription will renew automatically until you decide to cancel it. You can pay by PayPal, or if you don't have a PayPal account, you can also pay by Visa or MasterCard as well. So that's just a little about the new features and how they work and how the new features are designed to increase your profitability. By the way, I wanted to show you the blog of Binary Signal App. If you go to binarysignalapp.com, click on Education, you'll see our blog here. Once or twice a month, we add a new article on here, educational article. So these are great to read. Why you need a binary option trading plan. That's really helpful. What's the biggest danger of binary options trading? How to profit from trading binary options. So you can subscribe to this blog. You'll get updates. We also have a Twitter page as well, twitter.com/binary signal app. And you can see our Twitter page here. We put updates on here. We put announcements, sometimes interesting news. So please follow our Twitter page as well for any kind of updates. But the blog's really great too. Okay, great. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up now. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate that. We'll be doing some more webinars in the future. If you ever have any questions, drop us a line. And be sure to get started with your account, either opening a broker account or subscribing so you can continue your signals. Good trading to you. Have a good night.